Good morning, internets. It is Monday morning. When I left the house this morning, the temperature was 44 degrees, and I had a range on the 2012 Chevy Volt Premium of 38 miles. So that's the stats. For those of you keeping track at home, please keep sending me your data because I really like hearing about it. Over the weekend, I did have a Friday off from my regular day job, and I had big plans to get in the sewing room and get some work done and make a video for you guys in there. That did not end up happening. I ended up cleaning and doing life stuff, so but I have to get in the sewing room sometime soon. I'll be sure to make a video then. The weekend was good. Hit the car show on Eastern on Saturday. Had a pretty decent turnout. And I'm still trying to work out how to edit and get clips all put together. I've made a couple of videos where I've put clips together, but how to cut stuff down and how to reorder things and stuff is, I'm not super techie oriented and not terribly great on computers, so that's had a bit of a learning curve, but I'm working it out. I actually have a video from 2 Saturdays ago that I'm still trying to put together, so I'll get that out soon. And other than that, that's pretty much all that's going on. I had a comment from one of my users on my video about Jag starting to offer all electric vehicles across all of their platforms by 2020. And, he said something to the effect of, it's a super smart for Jag to do that because that's the wave of the future, but to him, Tesla is still always going to be the cool car. And I think that's a really important distinction because when I go out into the world, when I go to the car shows, when I talk to other people and bring my own car and other people are driving, classic cars, they're driving muscle cars, they're driving, brand new Corvettes, they're driving things that make big power with big gas burning motors. And sometimes even diesels, those people look at me and they laugh at the Chevy Volt. They think it's hysterical until they hear how much I pay every month for gas. And then they're like, oh, that's kind of a good idea. But I could never drive something that doesn't make any noise. And that's kind of the overreaching opinion that I get from people for the most part. People who come to this channel, who are on here, obviously EV enthusiasts, just like I am. And we all think Tesla is a cool car. But the Corvette guys, the Camaro guys, the classic truck guys, the Jag guys, all of the other car guys who like, who really enjoy the internal combustion engine and not only classic cars, but also modern muscle cars. You have the Dodge Hellcat and Dodge Demon and, the Mustangs, and everything's making really big power now. You're able to buy stuff from a dealer that makes over 700 horsepower with a warranty. That's insane. That was unheard of even just a few years ago. So even though our resource of gasoline is depleting and reducing, super high powered, high horsepower ICE cars they don't seem to be going anywhere, and their sales are not hurting because Dodge did so well with the Hellcat, they decided to re-release the Demon, which makes even more horsepower than the Hellcat. It's insane. It's ludicrous. Like there are no circumstances under which I need 700 horsepower. Doing burnouts is super fun though, and doing donuts is super fun, and that will let you do all the donuts and all of the burnouts as much as you want whenever you want. So I can definitely see the appeal, that American muscle car thing. But when I talk to those people who own those cars or who aspire to own those cars, they don't think Teslas are cool. They don't think EVs are cool. They think that these are nerdmobiles, that I have one of the lamer of the nerdmobiles, and Tesla is like the epitome of like the nerd wagon. And I talk to these people who are like, Tesla, Tesla. And I'm like, okay, but why? Why, Tesla? They have the range, like, for the amount that you drive in your life every day, they have all of the range. They will break you off from the starting line for sure. Most of the cars that the people that I run into, will get outrun in a quarter mile, in the eighth mile, quarter mile, half mile, even the mile by a Tesla. And they don't care. They do not care. They don't care about the extra torque. They don't care about instantly available power. They do not care about the electric car. They only care about whether or not it makes noise, whether or not it has a smell, whether or not it rumbles, whether or not they get that feedback through the steering wheel. And those are the things that matter to a lot of the car guys that I talk to. Now, not all of the car guys. One of the very first people who was kind enough to come talk to me at a car show, one of the first weekends I showed the Volt, showed up in a brand new Jag. And he was very excited to come check out the Volt. And he was a really, really nice guy. But for the most part, most people look at me like, what the hell are you doing here? And did you know that your car is super lame? And now, at the car show in Eastern last week, I'm gradually seeing more and more Teslas. I actually saw a Model 3 for the first time. There are 2 Model S's and a Model 3. Look great. But I can kind of see where people get less excited about these cars. It has this giant screen in the center, it's a huge, massive flat screen, touch screen in the center, and then nice upholstery, and then that's it. And then the rest of it looks like a sedan, a nice sedan, but a sedan. And it does there's nothing really exciting about it. Whereas when people see the BMW i8 with all of those, air channels, and it's all lowered and low slung and angular, and it's got all like the supercar kind of look to it. It's not a supercar, but it's got the look, of all of these crazy angles and technology, and it looks futuristic, and people are like, oh, what is that? They're like, oh, that's a all-electric sports car. And then they'll get excited. I see people get excited about that, but they do not get excited about Tesla. This is not the cool car for most people. And it's not going to be the jumping off point, I don't think, for a lot of people to move from internal combustion to electric. And I think that's kind of lame, because Teslas are really, really cool cars. They're really well made. The people that I've talked to on the internet who have them really, really love them, and they're huge fans. Then you get the people who buy them because they're fans of Elon, and that cult of personality that seems to surround that overly ambitious wonder nerd that we all kind of sort of worship a little bit. Like, it's weird. There's this weird culture around electric cars, and around electric car things, and around Tesla, and around Elon Musk. But there's this whole thing, and some people are very attracted to it, and some people are very put off by it. So I, for one, am excited that Jag is going to be offering all electric vehicles across all their platforms by 2020. I think it's fantastic, because Jag has some really great looking cars and some really wonderful styling that is recognizable to people. It's recognizable to car people. It's recognizable to car culture. We know that Jag badge. We know that badge. We know that front end. We know those headlights. I'll know it in my rearview mirror for 40 years of Jag. I'll know, like, oh, that's a Jag. And I usually know which one, and I can usually get the era. I can get it within 3 years. So not as great as I'd like to be from just headlights, but hey, man, that's not bad. And we know Jag, it's iconic. So if more and more sports cars and more sports car manufacturers could kind of get on with that, I think it would help bridge the gap between people who are used to, car enthusiasts who love their cars and love internal combustion, but it's no longer practical for them anymore, but they cannot bring themselves to drive a Tesla. Because to them, it's like Tesla, the next word that comes out of their mouth is almost inevitably Prius, even though Toyota makes the Prius and not Tesla, but like they feel the same way as like the Prius has a super bad rap, and I get that, sorta. I made a video a little while ago where I kind of don't understand the hate on for the Prius. People freak out about the Prius. You get like the diesel guys with the big stacks out of the bed that are, rolling coal, and they've got the arrows pointing to each of the stacks that belch all of the diesel smoke, and it says Prius repellent. Like, okay, who is that for? Why? So a Prius owner sees that and then goes, oh, I am repelled, or whatever. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do you hate the Prius? Like, yeah, it's a geeky looking car. It's a little cheese wedge and whatever, but it's a super efficient family car, and people like them. And it's a bestseller every year. They just come out with the Prius C, which is a little compact. They've got a Prius all electric. I think I've seen that out at a charge station before. They've got the bigger Prius that looks almost like a minivan. I can't remember that Prius Max or I don't know, Prius something. But people like that platform, but it's got such a bad rap and nobody wants to be associated with it. And that seems to be kind of the way with Tesla too, even though it's a 6-figure sports car, and it has Insano mode. It's got a mode on the dash that you put on it to go break off Corvettes. Like, that's what it's for. And people still think it's a nerdmobile. So what do you guys think? Like, what do you think it would take for people to let go, breathe a little bit, and like let go of your suppositions about electric cars and about electric car culture, and maybe give it a shot to go do something else. Maybe go try out something else. Maybe try out a Model 3. Maybe try out the Roadster. Which is going for like $250,000. I don't get that. We'll get into that later. I think the price point for that is too high, and it's kind of silly, but we'll get to that later. What do you guys think it would take? What kind of manufacturers would need to What would they need to offer? I mean, even Lamborghini is developing an all-electric hypercar called the Terzo Millennio. And I'll talk about that sometime soon because I actually know a lot about that car and it's freaking amazing. But even Lamborghini sees the potential for electric cars and electric power and for performance. No one needs a Terzo Millennio. No one needs a Lamborghini. It's not necessary. It's not essential to your survival to own and drive a Lamborghini. But you want a Lamborghini. So so people spend the money on them. They do. Even Rob wants a Lamborghini. I would love to buy a Lamborghini. There's the Huracan's freaking amazing. But it's not something you need, but it's something you want. Like, how do electric car manufacturers, I guess that's my question, how do electric car manufacturers create the desire that other supercar manufacturers have, other sports car manufacturers have? There's a desire for the Vet. For the ZR1, really? Like, look at the thing. It's just beautiful, and it looks fast while it's sitting in a parking spot. That Model S does not. And I was there with the Model 3 and it does not. And I've seen pictures of the Roadster and like what it's going to look like and the car that they're talking about making, and it doesn't look fast. It doesn't look it doesn't have that I have to have that visceral, guttural, from your groin must have this vehicle and drive it feeling. And neither does the Chevy Volt. This is not a testosterone fueled vehicle. But there are a couple of electric cars, a few that do that, and hybrid cars too. I mean, the Porsche 918 Spyder is like the fastest thing ever, and it's a hybrid. And if you drive it as a daily, it has a mode where it'll let you get like 40 or 50 miles to the gallon if you don't drive it with a lead foot, which of course you would, because it's a Porsche. Like, you would drive it to death. I'm sorry, I get excited. I want that car really bad. Really bad. Totally unobtainable, but really cool car. But like, what do you guys think it would take for electric car manufacturers to create that same level of desire? And I think that's kind of where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a rough week and I haven't gotten as many videos out as I would like. I'm planning on this week being better. So please let me know in the comments not only what you think about this, but what else do you want to hear me talk about this week? What else do you want to see shown on the channel? Just let me know your ideas for that in general. And, yeah, I think that's going to about do it. So if this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing right over here. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Here's some other videos we think you'll enjoy right down about here. My name is Catherine with EVs of Nevada here in Las Vegas, and I hope everybody's having a really great day. Please remember to like, subscribe, and smile.